Oh, ada orang duk ketuk pintu lagi. Kalau semua masuk awal sikit. Okey, okey. Ada lagi tak nak masuk? Sebab saya nak mula ni. Alright. So boleh kita mula Okay. Tak apalah kalau yang siapa tak sempat masuk tengok recording lepas ni Okay. Okay kelas. Okay, still we are talking about strategy formulation. Alright. Strategy formulation is quite a long strategy in strategic management. It's quite a long chapter actually. Yeah, it's quite a long chapter in strategic management because when we talk about strategy formulation, we are talking about one of the most important stage in strategic management model. Yeah, to recap your knowledge on strategic management model. All right, so basically strategic management model consists of 4 stages. Yeah, you must remember that by hook or by crook, because why? That is the what we call the roadmap. Yeah, that is the most important roadmap in studying strategic management. All right, the process of strategic management or the strategic management model, it start with environmental analysis. Yeah, it started with the environmental analysis. Yeah, where in the first stage in doing environmental analysis, okay, there are two main component of business environment. Yeah, namely the internal environment and the external environment. So when we do analysis on internal and external environment, what do we get? All right, basically what we get is the strategic factors, yeah, namely the strength, the weaknesses, yeah, the opportunities and the threat. So those are the outcome of doing the external or the external and the internal analysis or the environmental analysis. So with those factors, with those strategic factors, the SWOT, then we move to the second stage of the strategic management process, which is the strategy formulation. All right. When we talk about strategy formulation, basically there are three types of strategy. The strategy formulation can be divided into number 1, corporate strategy. Yeah. Number 2, the business strategy, which is what we are going to discuss tonight, and thirdly, the functional strategy. Yeah. So as you know, the corporate strategy is designed by the top management of the organization, whereas the business strategy, right, is being designed by the middle level management, and the functional strategy is being designed by the first line management. Yeah, first line management or the lower level management. All right. Okay. So last week we have discussed quite lengthy, the corporate strategy. Yeah, corporate strategy basically is a directional strategy. Yeah, it means that the top management of the organization are setting, yeah, the direction for the organization to follow. Yeah, it means that that is the very, very important strategy. Yeah, that is a very, very important decision by the top management, because the top management has to dictate, yeah, the direction or the future direction of our organization, whether we are using the growth strategy, or whether we are using the stability strategy, or whether we are using the retrenchment strategy. Yeah, so we have discussed quite lengthy, on that matter. All right, so for tonight we are discussing business strategy. All right, so this is our learning objective. Yeah, this is our learning objective. First and foremost, we are going to see the SFAST matrix. Yeah, the SFAST matrix. What is the SFAST matrix? Strategic factor. Yeah. SFAST matrix is the what we call is the summarization, yeah, of the internal and the external strategic factor that you identified during the internal and the external analysis. So it is called the SFAST matrix. All right. SFAST matrix stands for strategic factor analysis summary. Yeah, strategic factor analysis summary. So what is strategic factor? Strategic factor consists of the internal analysis and the external analysis. So what do you get from the internal analysis? The SW. And what do you get from the external analysis? The O and T. So the S fast matrix, yeah, the S fast matrix is going to consist of S, W, and T. Yeah, it combined together. Yeah, it combined together the I fast and the E fast matrix. All right. So please please recap your memory. Please refresh your memory. What is E fast and what is I fast matrix? Yeah. So basically, the I fast matrix is the S and W that you identify when you do the internal analysis, whereas the E fast matrix is the O and T that you get from doing the external analysis. All right, so the internal factors and the external factor is combined together in the S fast matrix. All right, so we will see the S fast matrix and SWOT diagram, yeah, to examine business strategy. Right, that is number one. And then 6.2, we are going to discuss on mission statement. Yeah, mission statement that addresses the 5 elements of good design. What should a mission statement convey? Right? What is the characteristic of a good mission statement? All right. That is our discussion on 6.2. On 6.3, we are going to see the competitive and the cooperative strategies available to corporations. Right? Basically, okay, when we learn about business strategy class, please bear in mind, when we learn about business strategy, there are 2 types of business strategy. Number 1, we call it competitive strategy, and number 2, we call it cooperative strategy. All right, please remember that whenever we learn about business strategy, there are only 2 types of strategy. Number 1, we call it a competitive strategy. Yeah, the strategy to compete with our competitors. And number 2, the cooperative strategy. Yeah, competitive strategy and cooperative strategy, they are in contrast. Yeah, they are in contrast with each other. Yeah, I mean that competitive strategy is is an opposite of the cooperative strategy. In competitive strategy, we are looking for ways, yeah, to fight with our competitor, whereas in a cooperative strategy, we are looking for ways to work together with them, to coexist with them. So it is a totally different strategy. But again, these are the 2 types of strategy that a business that a manager can design, whether we want to compete or we want to cooperate. All right. Okay. So remember, yeah, these are the 2 main strategy under business strategy, yeah, competitive and cooperative. And number 3 and number 4, identify the types of strategic alliances. Okay, strategic alliances is the example of cooperative strategy. All right. Okay, so this is everything that we are going to learn in this chapter. Yeah. Okay, class. Okay, still there are people knocking in the door. Ya, kesian jugalah. Kejap. Masuk. Ya, kesianlah orang ketuk, saya tak buka pintu. Alright. Okay. So class, what is a strategy formulation? Ada lagi Okay. Alright lah. Ada orang ketuk lagi, I have to ignore lah, ya. Alright. So those who are not enter the meeting can see the recording. Alright. So so a framework for examining business strategy. Yeah, this is the start. A framework to examining business strategy. All right. So first of all, what is a strategy formulation? All right. Basically, strategy formulation, yeah, is concerned with developing a corporation mission, objective, strategies, and policy. Why? Yeah. Why is that? Yeah. why what we call strategy formulation is concerned with developing a corporation mission, objective, strategies, and policy. Because strategy, when we talk about strategy formulation, so what is strategy in the first place? All right. Basically, strategy is our roadmap or is our planning, on how to achieve our objective. Yeah, on how to achieve our missions and our mission. So, when we talk about strategy formulation, all right, this is the process of what we call strategy formulation. It is the process of developing the cooperation mission, objectives, strategies, and policies. So all these four elements are interrelated, mission, objective, strategies, and policy. It means that each and every one of these, they complement each other. Yeah. Of course, mission of the organization is something that what we call that is located on top of everything. Yeah. The mission or vision of the organization is the what we call the reason for the company's existence. That should be what we call the guiding principle of all organization. So every organization, they are going to have their own mission and vision, because it is their guiding principle. And then in order to move toward that direction, they will set up objective. Yeah, objective, it means that when the workers fulfill their objective, they are one step closer toward fulfilling their mission. And in order to achieve the objective, they have to have strategies. Yeah, they have to design strategies on how to fulfill the objective. And in order to what we call to facilitate the implementation of strategies, so company, they need to design the policy. So meaning to say, we are moving toward one direction. Which direction is that? So every organization, every member of the organization is actually moving toward the fulfillment of their mission and their mission. Yeah, because that is the reasons for existence for any organization. All right. So in doing strategy formulation, a firm must do what we call a situation analysis. Situation analysis is the process of finding a strategic fit, between external opportunities and internal strength, while working around external and internal weaknesses. Okay, what does it mean? All right, before we formulate a strategy, it is very, very important for us to do a situation analysis. Okay, class, what is a situation analysis? What is a situation analysis? Analisa situasi. What is a situation analysis? Situation analysis is none other than the SWOT that you did in the first stage of the strategic management process, which is what? The environmental analysis. Because why it is called a situation analysis? Because you are examining your current situation. It is very, very important for organization, before they are moving forward, they need to assess what is their current situation right now. It means that when you assess your current situation, all right, you are in contact with reality. If you let's say only depends on your previous situation or previous environmental factors, so you are not, it means that you are not real. It means that you are not standing in the face of reality. It means that you are in the past. So it means that in order to move forward, we need to analyze what we have at the moment. So that's why we are doing the SWNOT, that's why we are doing the internal and external analysis. So it means that the environmental analysis at the same time is called situational analysis. So when we do the situational analysis, what we want to find? We want to find a strategic fit. A strategic fit between the opportunities and the strength that we have. So we want to see basically what are the opportunities that are available to us, and what are the strength that we have in order to capitalize, in order to capture all those opportunities. So that's why we need to find a strategic fit. We are assessing our internal capabilities in the face of external opportunities that we have. And at the same time, we are working around our external and internal weaknesses. What is mean by external weaknesses? External weaknesses is none other than threats. Yeah. And then we have internal weaknesses, which is your weaknesses. So meaning to say, when we do situational analysis, simple. We want to see, we want to see what are the opportunities available outside, and we want to match, or we want to compare with the internal strength that we have, whether we can capture or not all the opportunities that available outside by using our internal strength or internal capabilities. And at the same time, we are trying to improve our weaknesses so that we could avoid the threat. So meaning to say, in a layman's term, situational analysis is that, or the SWOT, why we need to do the SWOT is that is because we want to use our strength in order to capture opportunities, and at the same time we want to improve our weaknesses so that we can avoid the threat. That is what we call situational analysis, so that we are in a ready situation. That's so that we are in a what we call in a ready mode to move forward. Because we are talking about future planning. When we learn about strategic management, we are talking about future direction. We are talking about where we are going to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. So we are planning ahead. When we are planning ahead, so it is very important to analyze our situation now. Why? Maybe you are thinking, sir, we are moving forward, we are moving ahead. But why we are analyzing our current situation? Because the future and the current is not the same. You are right, it's not the same. But our current situation might give us some glimpse. What would the future hold for us in the in the future? Because of course you are right. We cannot predict for sure. We cannot say for sure. Things will happen as we plan. No, we will never sure. But at least we are doing, to the best of our ability, to the best of our knowledge at the moment, at least to mitigate the risk of the future. By looking what? By looking at the current trend now, and by looking at the previous pattern, so that but we need to study our current pattern and our previous pattern so that we know what the future will be like. So that is what we call strategic management. It is because we are dealing with uncertainty. Because we are dealing with uncertainty, that's why at least we need some method. We need some method to navigate these uncertainties into the direction, into the what we call objective that we set for the future. That's what we do. That's what strategic management is all about. Strategic management is about paving a way. It's about design a strategy, all right, to move from here to our promised land in the future. This is what strategic management is all about. Okay, so a framework for examining the business strategy is none other than the SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is the acronym for what? For strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. So these are what we call strategic factors. These are the strategic factors for a company. For a specific company. Why for a specific company? Because different company, different SWOT factor. Different company, different strategic factors. That's for sure. All right. Because why? Why different, sir? Of course, you are a different company. You have different environmental analysis. You have different environmental factors, and also you are operating sometime in a different industry, for example. And even though you are in the same industry, maybe your size is different, for example. Your capabilities are different, for example. Your resources are different. That's why you would have a unique SWOT factors, or the unique strategic factors from one company with another. All right. So all in all, what is a strategy? Yes, we can say that strategy is opportunity divided by capacity. Opportunity divided by capacity. What is capacity here, class? Capacity here can be said your resources, ataupun kemampuan. Capacity, it means that your ability, all right, your ability to what? Ability to capture the opportunity. So Opportunities is nothing if you don't have capacity. That's for sure. And that's why it says that opportunity has no real value unless a company has the capacity to take advantage of that opportunity. All right. So it means that without capacity, without resources, you know, you will not be able to capture all the opportunities that are available to you. That's why class capacity, all right, resources, we can call them our strength. All right, when we discuss, remember or not, when we discuss about internal analysis, all right, we are talking about how our resources would give us our competitive advantage. Remember or not? All right, so that is the main thing. When we talk about internal analysis, we are talking about the organizational structure, the organizational culture, and also the organizational resources. And I ask you, right, which one is the most important one? So the most important one is the resources. Why? Because resources is the what we call resources is the lifeline or the lifeblood of any organization. It's like the oxygen for any organization. Without resources, no oxygen can breathe. Yeah, yeah, you will die if you don't have oxygen. Same thing. Without resources, company cannot exist. So you know what? The extent of your capacity will determine the extent of opportunity, yeah, the amount of opportunity that you can capture. Yeah, the larger your capacity, yeah, the larger your resources, it means that more opportunity that you can capture. So that's why strategy is opportunity divided by capacity. It means what? It means that the capacity is the dominator that will determine the extent of opportunities that we can grab. Yeah. So here opportunity has no real value, yeah, unless the company has the capacity to take advantage of that opportunity. Okay, class. This is the some criticism about SWOT analysis, which I want you to read. Yeah, I will skip this one. I leave this one for you to do your reading. All right, please read. There are what four criticism, yeah, about SWOT analysis. What is criticism, sir? Criticism means that the weaknesses, yeah, the weaknesses of SWOT analysis. Yeah, it is not SWOT analysis, even though this is a very established tools in strategic management, but again it is not without criticism. Why still people criticize it, sir? Yes, of course lah, because this is a man-made tools, but because why everything that we do as a human being, we have a limitation. All right, so the SWOT analysis also cannot run away from this. For example, yeah, for example, what is the among the main criticism of the SWOT analysis? So here, it is simply the opinion of those filling out the boxes. Remember or not? When we do the IFAS, the EFAS table last time, yeah, when we do the EFAS and the IFAS table, so I told you there is no specific formula, right, to determine what to determine the weight of each factor, and also the rating of each factor. It's all depends on the judgment of the manager. It's all depends on your own judgment as the what we call corporate leader. Yeah, it's all just your opinion. That's why some people call this is the among the main weaknesses of SWOT analysis. Of course, there are also other factors lah. So which I want you to read. Yeah, all right. Read about this criticism of SWOT analysis. Yeah, I think this is a quite interesting question to ask in the quiz, maybe. Okay. All right. Now we want to focus about the S-FAST matrix. This is what our concern, our learning objective, the first learning objective. So tadi tak start ni, ni baru kita nak mula lah. Alright. Okay. So this is the first learning objective, which is the S-FAST matrix. S-FAST matrix stand for strategic factor analysis summary. Okay. The S-FAST matrix, all right, unlike the I-FAST and the E-FAST, yeah, the S-FAST is the summary matrix. You combine the E-FAST and the I-FAST table in one table that called S-FAST. Yeah. So The SFAS matrix summarizes an organization's strategic factors by combining, this is the word, by combining the external factors from the EFAS table with the internal factors from the IFAS table. Alright? So dia kata kat sini, the SFAS metric, it is an organization strategic factors by combining the external factors from EFAS table with the internal factors from the IFAS table. All right, so class, let's recap what we did in the first stage of strategic management model, which is the external analysis, right? So you do the what we call external environmental analysis. So what do you get? You get the external factors, external factors such as the O and the T. And then when you do the internal analysis, what you get? You get the S and the W. All right, the O and the T, you put them in a table that we call EFAS. Whereas the S and the W, or the strength and the weaknesses, you put them in a table that we call IFAS. All right. So far we have EFAS and IFAS. Now in this chapter, I introduce you to another table that is called the SFAS. All right, class. What is an SFAS? SFAS is the strategic factors analysis summary. So when I say strategic factors must consist of these four categories: S, W, and OT. So technically, what does it mean? Technically, it means that we are combining the EFAS and the IFAS table together into one new matrix. You get that? All right, example is this. Some more like criticism. All right, so class, this is the example of the SFAS matrix. All right, class, this is a very, very important matrix. This is a very, very important matrix. When you do your assignment, it is compulsory for you to show these three types of matrix. Number one, I want to see your EFAS matrix. Number two, I want to see your IFAS matrix. And number three, I want to see this matrix, which is the SFAS. Alright? So macam mana nak buat SFAS ni? Alright? How to do the SFAS matrix? Okay, class. Look very, very carefully. Look very, very carefully. Alright. I know this is quite small, but this is as big as I can show you. All right. Okay, class. Let's see on the right, on the left side first. Okay. Here, this is, what metric is this? All right. So this is what we call the internal strategic factors, or in other words, this is the IFAS matrix. This is the IFAS matrix. How do I know whether this is IFAS? Easy. Look at here. This is strength. This is weaknesses. So we know that this is internal factors. So internal factors mean IFAS. I stand for the internal. IFAS, internal factor analysis summary. IFAS. All right. Here is the IFAS matrix. All right. Here. All right. Let's see what are the factors. The factors are opportunities and threats. So we know that opportunities and threat are the external factors. So automatically this is an EFAS matrix. EFAS. EFAS stands for external factor analysis summary. Okay, class. Now, what we do with them? Okay, before that, just to remind you, just to refresh your memory, the IFAS and the EFAS matrix, the format of these two matrices are the same. Where in the first column, you need to have the strategic factor. You need to have the strategic factor. Okay, depends lah. If you are doing the EFAS, then you have the O and the T. If you are doing the IFAS, then you should have the S and the W. All right. Okay, that is the first column, which is the strategic factors. And then the second column are the weight of each factor. The weight of each factor. So how to determine the weight of each factor? There is no specific formula to determine it. So it just depends on the judgment. It just depends on the judgment and discretion of a manager. All right. So how to assign weight? How to assign the weight to each factor? All right, you give the highest weight, yeah, to the most important factor. All right, and then if the factor is slightly less significant, you give a lesser weight. So you can assign any weight you like to all these factors, but at the end of the day, it should not exceed 1.00. That is the basic rule of doing the matrices. All right, it is the basic rule. So meaning that you can assign any number as you like, but when you sum up here to here, right, it must not, yeah, exceed 1.00 in total, right? You get that? The same thing with here, same thing with the E-fast metric. So the I-fast, the E-fast, as you look at the second column, this is the weight column. Yeah, the formula is the same. You can assign any weight you like to each factor, but at the end of the day, it must not exceed 1.00. All right? So, the rule of thumb says what? You give the higher number to the most, to a more important factor. All right. In the third column, what we have is the rating. Rating, it means that how well a company or how well the organization respond to that factor. So, here we have a scale from 1 to 5. Yeah. For the third column, we have a rating. Yeah, we have a rating scale from 1 to 5. 1 mean what? Poor, or poor. 5 mean outstanding. Yeah, what is poor and what is outstanding? It means that we are measuring how well the company is responding to each factor. Yeah, how good they are in responding to each factor. Yeah, so if you give 5, for example, here, it means that this company must be very, very good in, let's say, in responding with quality, for example, because S1 is quality, right? Okay, so that's how you do. All right, so this is the third column. All right, and then the fourth column is the weighted score. Easy. What you do is you multiply, yeah, the weight and the rating from each what we call each row. Okay, for example, this S1, yeah, S1 here. All right, the weight is 0.15. You multiply by 5.0, so you get 0.75 here. So you do, all right, so you do the rest. Yeah, you multiply the rest. So what you get is the total score here. You get total score for the I-fast and for the E-fast. And then the last column is comment. Yeah, you can put your comment here. Yeah, any comment that is related to the factor that you choose. All right. Okay. Now that's what a quick recap on I-fast and the E-fast. All right, class. Now, how do we do the S-fast matrix? This is what we want to learn tonight. How do you do the S-fast matrix? Okay, class. I said earlier, S-fast matrix is the combination from the I-fast and the E-fast matrix. Combination, how is it, sir? All right. As you look from the first column here, class, as you look from the first column, all right, in the first column, you are listing all the strategic factors. Yeah, you are listing all the strategic factors that you consider the most important. Remember that. You list all the strategic factors that you consider as the most important from I-fast and from the E-fast table. Okay, as you can see from here, yeah. All right, they have all components of SW and OT. For example, S1 is strength number 1. Okay, so this author feel that strength number 1 is important, so he take S1 here, and then he put here S5. So he think that S5 is important, so he put here. So what does it mean? It means that from all the strengths that you list from here, for example, here you have 5 strengths, right? 5, S1 until S5. What you do is you need to choose. All right. You must be asking, sir, to choose how many? Choose how many? Can I take all, sir? No, you should choose. Yeah, you should choose. It means that you should. How to choose, sir? How you choose S1 and S5? Easy. You look at what? you look at the weight that you give to this factor. So meaning that under the column of strength, yeah, for example, from S1 until S5, so you pick the highest, yeah, you pick the highest. For example, the highest weight in strength factors, yeah, is strength number 1, which is 0.15, and also strength number 5, which is also 0.15. That's why you take these two factors, S1 and S5, because why? These are the highest. These two are the highest. So the rest is lower than this. That's why you pick S1 and S5. Right? Okay. Now we go for weaknesses. The same formula. As you compare here, all right, which factor from W1 to W4 which has the highest weight? So as you can see from here, it's clearly show that factor number 3 and factor number 4, W3 and W4 has the highest weight, which is what? 0.2 and 0.15. So you put here W3 and W4. Yeah, so now we have S, we have W. All right, and what about from the EFAS table? The same thing. From the EFAS table, all right, you know which factor has the highest score. All right, okay, you have three factors, yeah. For example, O1 is 0.2, and then you have O2, which is 0.1, and also you have 0.5, which is also 0.1. So it means that 0.2 and 0.5 are the same weight. So it means that it must be equally important. So that's why you take Q1, Q2, and O. You take O1, you take O2, and you take O5 to be included in the S-fast table. And last but not least, the threats. Yeah, the threats. So again, let's see which factor is the highest. Yeah. So you got here, all right, 0.15 and 0.1. Okay, so you must be asking, sir, T1 and T2 is also 0.1. Why you take only T5? Maybe you have a specific reason. Why? All right, maybe to you, this, even though they are having what we call the same weight, but again, this is your judgment. You feel that among these three, yeah, even though they share the same weight, yeah, the T1, the T2, and the T5, they share the same weight, but you feel that T5 is more relevant. For example, is more relevant. Why? Okay, let's see here. Even though you tengok kat sini, even though let's say T1 and T2 and T5 they have the same weight, but let's see the rating. What does it mean? It means that T1 and T2 they score better. Yeah, they score better. It means that the company can respond better to these two factor. But the company is very poor in responding to the fifth factor, which is only 1.6. So you feel that 0.5 T5 is more vulnerable. Yeah, T5 is more vulnerable to the company. That's why you take T5 here. You see or not? So class, all right, you may be thinking, sir, for each category, how many factor can we pick? Of course, this is a very obvious question from students. All right. For each category, S, W, and OT, how many factors should we take? Well, class, there is no specific number actually. Yeah, there is no specific number. It's up to your judgment. It can be three each column, and 3 for each category. It can be, and please bear in mind that you must not necessarily take equal number. Yeah, it must not be as it must not it's not necessarily, yeah, let's say two for each category. No, it doesn't have to be that way. Yeah, you pick each factor based on the level of importance. Yeah, based on the level of importance to the organization. Let it be. You can have 3, 2, 4, 3 can also, or you can have 4 4 3 2, can also. You can have 2 3 4 3, can also. Any numbers will do, no problem. Okay, so I hope you are clear on how to pick the factors. Yeah, how to pick the factors. And then for the weight, you maintain it original weight. Yeah, you maintain its original weight. Sorry. Terbalik. Sorry. I take back my statement. No, you cannot maintain the original weight because you have to make sure that it is not more than 1.00 and not less than 0.00. Here, when you combine all these factors together, you need to reassign weight for each factor. So that's why when they are being when we let's say consider this factor together, they will not have more or less than 1.00. That's why you need to reassign the weight for each factor here. But the rating, you can maintain the rating. Yeah, you can maintain the rating. All right, are you clear? Weight, you need to reassign the weight. You need to reassign the weight so that it is equal to 1.00. And the rating, you can maintain the old rating. Yeah, you can maintain the old rating. So you can check. Yeah, the rating here is the same with the original one. All right, and then you calculate the new weighted score, and then you calculate the new total score. Yeah, you calculate the new total score. So the new total score is 3.01. So it means that overall, these companies punya strategic position is just slightly above average, just slightly above 3. It means that slightly above average, which is what? The company is in what we call is in a moderate situation lah. Not to say that they are so good, not to say they are so poor, but they are, they are on average. Yeah, they are just a decent market follower. Yeah. Okay, and then the next column is column number 5. All right, class. Column number 5 is a little bit different from the previous two matrices. Yeah. For example, in column number 5, we have duration. Yeah, duration. Duration can be classified into short term, intermediate. Intermediate means middle term, and also long term. Yeah, long term. All right, class, what to do with this? All right, what you need to do is for each factor that you have here in column 1, all right, you need to determine the impact of each factor, whether it is the short term, medium term, or long term. The impact or the fulfillment. Yeah, the impact or the fulfillment. So whether it is the long term or short term. Again, class, this is your judgment. Yeah, this is your judgment. So to tell you the truth, yeah, class, actually to do the what we call case analysis is very easy and very what we call adventurous, and to me quite enjoyable. Why? Because whatever answers that you give is right. Yeah, because as long as you can justify your reason, your answer is valid. Because why? Again, it is your judgment. It is your judgment as the business leader. That's why if you look back on the criticism towards SWOT analysis just now, what is number 1? Because they say that SWOT analysis is purely the opinion of the person who are doing the metrics. But again, let it be, because this is the tools that people use. All right. So class, this is what we call the S-FAST matrix. So basically, when the company are doing their what we call situational analysis by identifying their SW and OT, this would be a good what we call platform to design your strategy. To design your strategy. All right. Okay. So class, by looking at this factor, so you know that you have strength S1 and S5 in order to tackle O1 and O2. Your strength is S1 and S5. All right. So what will you do with your S1 and your S5? You will use your S1 and S5 in order to tackle, in order to capture, in order to realize, yeah, the O1 and the O2. And at the same time, you are looking forward to improve your W3 and W4 in order to avoid T what apa ni T3 and T5. You see or not? So you have to design strategy for that. Okay. For example, S1 you are good in quality, and number S5 you are apa ni? You have a what you call a strong international orientation. So it means that your quality is good and you have a very strong international orientation. So what can you do with them? All right. So let's see what are the opportunities that you are trying to tackle. Okay. For example, the O1, economic apa ni integration of European community. Nampak tak? Economic European community. This is the opportunity. And then the O2, the demographic favor quality. Nampak tak kat sini? Alright, maksudnya kat sini, yeah, here, your S1 and your S5 is perfectly designed to tackle O1 and O2. For example, the O1, economic integration of European community. What does it mean? It means that when the European community, integrates together, it means that they have one big market. Yeah, all the European countries, they are integrating themselves into one big economy collusion, for example. Then it proved to be one big hit for you, one big market for you. And at the same time, you have your S5, which is what? You have your international reputation. So meaning to say, with your international recognition, you can easily walk into the European market, for example. See or not? So given that, what are the things that you should do? What are the strategy that you should design given that strength and that opportunity? You see or not? So by using the S5 to tackle the O1, what can you do? Itu nama dia strategy formulation. You have to propose a strategy on that. And at the same time, your S1, what is your S1? Your quality culture. Yeah, your quality culture. And what is the O2? Demographic favor quality. You see or not? Customer across all segment, they prefer quality. Of course, Maytag. This is the SWOT analysis for company Maytag. What is Maytag company? Maytag, I think this brand is a European brand, and they produce electrical appliances, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they are producing electrical appliances. So customer in the European market, they prefer quality. So it means that quality is their culture, quality is their strength. So what does it mean? It means that they have what it takes to succeed in the marketplace. So what does it mean? It means that maybe they can apply what we call a growth strategy here, for example. Yeah, it means that they are looking for, maybe they look forward, maybe they can look forward to penetrate deeper in that market, for example. So you need to propose that kind of strategy lah. Given the strength that the company have and given the opportunities that they want to tackle, so you need to propose strategy in order to help the organization. You get or not? This is what strategic management is all about, to train you to be a thinker. So this is what we have. This is the asset what we have. This is the objective that we want to achieve. So using the asset, using the strength that we have, what can we do in order to achieve our objective? This is strategic management. This is planning. All right. Okay. Good. If you understand. Okay. Same thing in class. All right. With the W and the T. Yeah. W and the T. What is their weaknesses? Financial position. Maybe they have quite a weak financial position. And global apa ni? Saya tak nampak Global apa Global apa? Dia punya weaknesses. Global positioning. Global positioning. Alright. this company, they are only good in European market, but in global market, in Asian market, in African market, maybe they are not so well known, for example. So this is their weaknesses, yeah, in term of finance and in term of their global positioning. Yeah, in term of worldwide, maybe outside European community, they are not so well known. That's why kita pun tak kenal Maytag punya company. Ya, kita dekat sini kita kenal apa? Kita kenal apa nama? Sony, kita kenal all the Japanese punya products lah, all the Japanese punya firm lah kalau we talk about electrical punya appliances, right? Yeah. So far I think European brand yang ada dalam Malaysian market, apa dia? Mungkinlah satu dulu adalah Electrolux. Kalau you pernah dengar. Kan? Other than that, I never see. Most of us are consuming Japanese punya electrical appliances. Sharp, National, Sony, Panasonic. So on and so forth. Malaysian punya dia kira Panasonic. Ada nak tahu Panasonic. Dan sebagainya. Alright. So, and what are their threats? Threat T3. What is T3? Whirlpool and Electrolux strong globally. Whirlpool and Electrolux, Whirlpool is another brand. Electrolux is also another brand. It means that they are competitor lah. They had Whirlpool and Electrolux, they are strong globally. Masalahnya Maytag is weak globally. They are only strong in European market, but outside European market they are weak. However, their competitor is strong globally. Nampak tak? Their competitor is strong globally. Now, they have these weaknesses, which is what? They are weak globally, but their threat is their competitor are strong globally. Now, given our weaknesses, in the face of that threat, what can we do? What can you suggest? What are the strategy that you can suggest for this company, to minimize that threat or to overcome that threat? So it means that obviously we have to propose for this company, to be more present, to have more present, to have better present outside of Europe. How? Then maybe you can suggest what? Maybe horizontal growth strategy, for example. Ingat tak? What does it mean by horizon and vertical? I hope you can remember when we talk about horizontal growth, for example, we are trying to operate at multiple geographical location. When we talk about vertical growth, we are growing in terms of our position on the value chain analysis. On the value chain punya, on value chain. All right. So that is the difference. So this kind of logic that you have to, you have to come up. You should have what we call the a global punya thinking. You should be able to see things from big picture. To learn strategic management, it means that you need to use all your skills, expertise, knowledge that you have gained from all other previous subjects. Tapi itulah still subject to how much you flush all your knowledge. Because like we discussed earlier, I do not know, I say this to which class? Normally after final exam you flush all your knowledge. Next time you start zero. You see or not? It shouldn't be that way. Because why? When you learn strategic management, it needs what we call the accumulation of those previous knowledge, in order to excel in this course. All right. So you propose lah. What can you do? Given your weak global positioning, and given your competitors strong in terms of their presence globally. And then the rest, apa lagi? Financial position, W3. This is another weakness. And then T5, another threat, Japanese appliances companies. Ini lagi satu masalah. Alright, Maytag are not only competing with the European brand, but at the same time they are also facing what we call competition with Japanese brand. And at the same time, their financial position are weak. Their financial position are weak. And again, they are facing a threat from Japanese companies. Japanese company, what is the strength of the Japanese company? Most of the Japanese product lah, whatever product that come from Japan, they have these two characteristics. Number one, they are technologically very good and they sell cheaper. Yang ini is the strength of the Japanese product lah. Berkualiti dan murah. Berkualiti dan murah. And this Japanese product, then they give the European hard time. They give the Westerners, the Western punya brand hard time. Whether car, whether electronic appliances, whatever it is, as long as they are coming from Japan, they are going to trouble the Westerners. All right. So in this situation, their financial position is weak, but at the same time, they are facing a formidable opponent. What can they do? So what can they do? What can you suggest for the company to do? So maybe as we learn this topic, this chapter, as we learn the competitive strategy and the cooperation strategy, I hope later on you will have some idea what strategy that the organization should take. So this is what we call the S-FAST matrix. So when you do your assignment, this is what you need to do. When you do analysis of your company, when you do the analysis of the annual report company, that you take the annual report, this is what you should do. This is what you should analyze. You should analyze their internal factors, you should analyze their external factors, and you should combine them into the S-FAST matrix. And when you got the S-FAST matrix, so you need to discuss how this company can use their strength, to capture the opportunities that are available to them. What are the strategies that they can use? And also at the same time, how should they overcome their weaknesses in order to avoid the threat or to overcome the threat? So you need to propose them strategy. You need to propose them strategy. So that's why we learn this topic, strategy formulation. Okay lagi kah? Ni baru start ni. Alright. Okay, class. When we do a strategy formulation, it is very important for a firm to find a propitious niche. What is a propitious niche? A propitious niche is what we call a niche that is propitious ni kita senang cakap apa? It means that a market niche that is profitable to them, that are suitable with them. This is what we call propitious. Alright. What is niche, class? Can you remember what is niche? A market niche. What is a market niche? A market niche is basically a narrow segment or a smaller segment from the mass market. A small segment, a smaller segment in the overall market. A small segment which normally a big firm does not really interested in. Why? Maybe this segment is small, is small, and they consider, the big firm consider that it's not profitable to them to fulfill the needs and the wants of customer in this niche group. So this is what we call the niche. So what is our job? Our job is to find a market niche, a market niche that is propitious to us. Propitious means what? Propitious means suitable. Propitious means maybe profitable to us, or it means that propitious, it means that a market niche that is aligned with the capacity or the resources that we have. This is what we call propitious niche. Ataupun dengan kata lain, cari pasangan yang sesuai. Maksudnya macam tu. Niche ni maksudnya satu lubuk, kita kata satu market, satu sasaran. Satu segmen dalam pasaran. Alright. Jadi this is what we should do. Find a propitious niche. So propitious niche is a niche that is so well suited to the firm's internal and external environment that other corporations are not likely to challenge it or dislodge it. What does it mean? It means that as a niche that other firm does not interested to come in. A niche that is what we call a customer in this niche, their needs are still not being fulfilled. Ya, kehendak dan kemahuan mereka masih belum dipenuhi ya dalam niche pasaran tersebut. So kita kena cari niche itu. Sir, why we should find those niche? Yeah, if you are thinking that question, sir, why we need to find those niche? We need to find those niche is because it is where you set foot in that market. Yeah, this is how you enter that market. It means that this market, yeah, this is the easiest way to find profit. Okay, if you are trying to enter the mass market, you are fighting with the big corporation. You are fighting with the giants. Yeah, unfortunately, maybe you do not possess the same amount of resources that they have. So if you are trying to take them full frontal, it means that you will die. Yeah, you will die. So better, or a very very a sound strategic move is to find a market niche that is still green, the market is still very attractive, so that you can work in, you can venture into that market, and you can capitalize all the prospect, all the what we call potential, the growth potential that available in that market. Macam mana tu? Example lah, give you example lah, easy. Alright, example, let's say, this is a very classic example that I normally use. Let's say Colgate, Colgate. They are the producer of the toothpaste, a giant company, a giant of a company. Yeah, it's a very, very huge, very, very strong, very, very big company. All right, it means that who are their target market? The whole population. Yeah, who is their target market? The whole population. It means that their product is aimed. Each of their product is aimed for the mass market. They are not producing their product to a specific group of customer. No, they produce their product for all. For all. Okay, now when a smaller company, let's say, company like a local company, like for example, like Mukmin, for example, those brand Mukmin, all the Islamic brand, apa lagi Mukmin, selain tu ada lagi apa lagi? Saya tak ingat lah. Ya, yang saya ingat Mukmin lah. Mukmin, Halal Gel. Halal Gel is another apa nama, Bumi Putra company, a small Bumi Putra company. Alright, if company like Mukmin, company like Halal Gel, they are trying to take on Colgate face to face, lawan secara anak jantan. How come? Colgate is a heavyweight. Yeah, Colgate is a heavyweight contender. Whereas this Mukmin and this Halal Gel, they are the featherweight punya competitor. So how come heavyweight ataupun how come the featherweight want to fight and beat the heavyweight? There is no such thing. If you tengok, kalau you tengok dalam sports like taekwondo, martial arts punya sport, ataupun boxing for example, that's why all the fighters are being separated into a group, into what we call a weight category, into a weight category group, so that they can have an equal fight. So the same thing, the same concept. So you are smaller, you are lighter, you are weaker, so you cannot take a heavier opponent full frontal. So what you must do is you must work around him. Yeah, you must scavenge. You must become a scavenger. You must look for the leftovers that this big company does not take, for example. Jadi, for example, companies like Mukmin, companies like Halal Jal, what is their propitious needs? Of course, the Muslim market, for example. They know that, for example, the Muslim consumer, for example. The Muslim consumer, they prefer, maybe toothpaste yang ada sugi dan sebagainya, sebab itu adalah sunnah, for example, right? Itu salah satu contoh, propitious niche. Okay, and then in the propitious niche, you need to find a strategic window, a unique market opportunity that is available for a particular time. Sometimes in the propitious niche tu ada a very specific strategic window, that it happens sometimes only for a particular time, for a particular time only. This is a unique market opportunity that is available for a particular time. This is what we call a strategic window. It does not happen all the time. Yeah, it does not happen all the time. Sometimes it happens because maybe government announce a certain policy, for example. Yeah, government announce a certain policy, you know, apa nama, you know, sometimes this presented a very specific window. For example, apa lagi? You know, kalau macam kita tengok contoh-contoh. Contoh, example ya. Let's say when the last previous punya education minister, he introduced the black shoe policy. You see or not? It caught the big company by surprise. Yeah, those policy caught the big company by surprise. Big companies such as Bata, you know, the producer of apa nama school shoes, right? It caught them by surprises because they are not see this coming. So it give opportunity for other companies, you know, to capture some of this what we call that is what we call suddenly appear in front of them. You see or not? This is the masuk mission and objective. All right, mission and objective. Okay, what is a mission and what is an objective? All right, this is what we call the guiding principle of any organization. All right, mission and objective. All right. This mission statement, yeah, they must enable a common thread. Okay, a common thread to highlight and focus the energy of everyone in the organization in the direction that the top management believe is the best for businesses. That is the best for their businesses. Meaning to say, what is a mission and objective? Senang cakap, mission and objective is a guiding principle that unites everybody in the organization, unites everyone in such a way that they will focus and they will channel all their energy towards the same direction. Yeah, towards the same direction that top management believe this is the best direction for them. This is what mission and objective. It means that this is the unition, this is the what we call the unition in terms of our direction. Unition means what? Penyatuan. Yeah, it means that a mission that unites everybody within that organization towards the same direction in such a way that everyone will give their best, will give their level best, will channel all their energy, will channel all their focus towards fulfillment of the same objective, yeah, towards the same direction. This is what mission and vision is all about. Without mission, without objective, your organization will be in disarray. Why it is in disarray? It is because people simply are not united in your organization. One people, they want to go to left, one people, they want to go to right, for example. You know, one people, they does not want to go anywhere, for example. So the organization will be in disarray, the organization will be in chaos. All right, so that's why mission and objective is very important to unite everybody towards the same direction so that they can focus all their energy, they can channel all their effort toward the fulfillment of the same mission and same objective, so that organization will fulfill their destiny. All right, so this is what we call mission and objective. And class, this is the characteristic of a good mission and objective. Number one, it must be short. Yeah, it must be short. Why it must be short? If too long, nobody will remember. Yeah, if it is too long, nobody will remember. And number two, the design must be simple. Yeah, it must be simple, sweet, and simple. All right, and clear. All right. Why it must be simple? Because why? Simplicity will provide clarity. You must bear that in mind. Simplicity will provide clarity, so that people are clear about where we are heading to. All right. And then number three, it has to provide direction, and this is very important. It has to provide direction. Yeah. Example direction. We want to be a market leader. Nampak? Itu is a statement of direction. What we want to be? We want to, let's use market leader. When you say market leader, what does it mean? It means that you want to be the best in your industry. You want to be the top dog in your industry. You want to be the what we call the supreme player in your industry. So what it takes to be a supreme player in the industry, you should beat all the competition. You need to be what we call 2, 3, 4 step ahead in front of your competitors. It means that you should be the envy of the industry. You should be the one who set the pace, the tone for the whole industry. This is what we call direction. So if everybody is having that direction in mind, is if everyone in your organization subscribe to that principles, then they will channel all their energy, they will channel all their strength toward fulfilling whatever it takes to be the best in the industry. All right, number 4, it should enable employees knowing exactly what the company does and what it does not do. All right, number 4, it should be clearly stated what we do, who we are, what we do. Yeah, what we do. For example, we want to be market leader in F&B industry. So we know that this company is F&B. What is F&B? Food and beverages, for example. All right. We want to be the main company in automotive industry, for example. So we know that this company are producing vehicles, for example. And number 5, it should be measurable. What is measurable? Measurable, it means that the accomplishment of your objective can be calculated. Only if it is not measurable, then you will not know whether you have achieved it or not. That's why it has to be measurable. Yeah, it has to be measurable. Okay, let's say if you say that we want to increase our market share, that is a very vague statement. You should say what? We want to increase our market share by 20%. Why? Because it is measurable. You see or not? You cannot say that I want to get a good CGPA I want to get good grades for this subject. That is still vague. You must name what grade that you want. I want to get A for this subject. That is very clear cut. So it means that it must be measurable. So a good mission and a good objective must be measurable, and it should has all these characteristics. Yeah. Okay. Baru kita nak masuk business strategy. Alright. Okay, so what business strategy is all about? Yeah, what is a business strategy is all about? Okay, business strategy. How does it differ from corporate strategy? Yeah. How does it differ from a corporate strategy? Remember, what is a corporate strategy? Corporate strategy is about determining the direction of the organization. Yeah, it's about determining the overall direction of the organization. That is what we call corporate strategy. Whereas business strategy, on the other hand, it focuses on improving the competitive position of a company or a business unit, products or services within the specific industry or market segment that the company or business unit serve. All right, what does it mean? It means that business strategy, we are not talking about direction. We are not talking about the halal tuju. But instead, we are talking about how to improve our current position. Yeah, how to improve our position in the current market. This is what business strategy is all about. Meaning to say, all right, business strategy is focusing on how to increase your competitive position in the marketplace. When I said increase your competitive position in the marketplace, it means that you want to be better than before in the industry. It means that you are talking about increasing or growing your business to a higher level. This is what business strategy is all about. Yeah, you are talking about how to become, let's say, if before you are in the 5th place, you are talking about how to increase into the 4th place. Yeah, next year you are talking about how to increase into a 3rd place. Next year you are talking about how to improve to the 2nd place, and years to come you are planning on how to become the market leader in that industry. This is what we call what business strategy is all about. In other words, we are trying to move forward. Yeah, we are trying to climb up the ladder, or in other words, we are trying to become what we call bigger in terms of our dominance of market share. Yeah, for example, let's say for now we are only controlling about 20% of the market share. Now when we talk about business strategy, we are trying to improve our competitive position. We want to control now, let's say 50% of the market share. This is what business strategy is all about. Yeah, this is what business strategy is all about. So why we are here? We are here to plan what to do in order to take our businesses from one level to the next level. This is what business strategy is all about. Yeah. Okay, class. Business strategy can be divided into a competitive strategy and cooperative strategy. Yeah. Remember, this is a very important what we call roadmap. Yeah, this is a very important roadmap. When we talk about business strategy, all right, business strategy is being divided into two main types of strategies, which is the competitive and the cooperative strategy. These two strategies are opposite in nature. These two strategies are opposite in nature. Competitive, you are looking for method to fight your customers. Whereas fight your customer, sorry, to fight with your competitors for customers. Whereas the cooperative strategy, on the other hand, you are trying to work with your competitor, to serve the same customer. Well, each of these two strategies, they have their own philosophy, yeah, which we will see later. Okay, class, this is the very important roadmap, yeah. For the corporate strategy, all right, please remember we have three main categories, yeah, which is growth, stability, and retrenchment. Remember? All right. For business strategy, we have competitive and cooperative. Okay? Are you following me so far? If you do, then that's very good. Okay. Now, let us go to the first one. What is a competitive strategy? All right. Again, according to Porter's, yeah, Porter's competitive strategy. Who is Porter? The same Michael Porter who proposed the five forces of market industry competitiveness. Eh? The same person who proposed the model to measure what we call the intensity of competition in the industry or in the marketplace. That same Michael Porter. Yeah. All right. So this Michael Porter also proposed, several strategy under competitive strategy. All right. According to Michael Porter, yeah, competitive strategy raises the following question. Yeah, Michael Porter says, competitive strategy, yeah, it raised this question. Yeah, should we compete on the basis of lower cost? Yeah, or should we differentiate our products or services on some basis other than cost, such as quality and service? Okay, so what does Michael Porter says? What Michael Porter says in this question is, how can we compete with our competitor? Yeah, how can we compete with our competitor? So according to Michael Porter, there are two main alternatives. Yeah, there are two main ways. Yeah, there are two ways that a firm can compete or a firm can fight the competitor. Number one, a firm can fight with the competitor by using cost. Yeah, by using cost or by using your selling price. Yeah, it means that you try to beat your competitors in term of price. Yeah, who can sell cheaper, for example. All right, normally who sell cheaper is going to emerge winner, for example. Right, or in other consideration, can we find our consumer, our competitor based on other basis, other than cost, yeah, such as quality or service. So meaning to say, according to Porter, there are two ways to compete. Number one, according to by using cost or price. Number two, by using quality, yeah, by using quality, ya, ataupun dengan kata lain, you are using other factors other than cost. Ya, sebab cost adalah satu faktor yang paling umum lah. Ya, cost is when I say cost, class, It means price lah, price war. Yeah, price war is price is the easiest way to create a war. Yeah, among competing firm. Because why? Price is the single most important factor that determine customer purchases. All right. Basically, customers are driven to buy cheaper product. Yeah. When the product go down, yeah, with the theory of economy says what? When the price of a product goes down, the demand will increase. Yeah, the demand will increase. It means that the customer are more motivated to buy when the price is cheap. Yeah, which is true. Which is true. Yeah, to some extent, yes, it is true. So Porter says, number one, we can compete with our competitors based on price. Number two, we can compete based on other factors. Yeah, which is not necessarily price. Yeah, sometimes such as what? Such as quality, for example. Okay. So the second question, Porter, should we compete head to head with our major competitors for the biggest but most sought after share of the market? Or should we focus on a niche in which we can satisfy a less sought after but also the profitable segment of the market? Okay. Soalan kedua yang ditanya oleh Porter, ya, the second question that raised by Porter is in term of our selection of market. Yeah, in term of our selection of market. Number one, Porter says, should we compete head to head with our major competitor for the biggest but most sought after share of the market? It means what? It means that the first option, yeah, in terms of the selection of the market, should we choose the mass market where all the giants and all the big corporation is there? Yeah, should we choose that market? Because that market, consists of what we call the largest amount of consumer is there. Yeah, the largest amount of consumer is there, and customers are willing to buy. But our problem is we are facing with the big giants, but the market is there. If you are trying to, let's say, go fishing, for example, right? Okay, so you are facing with a huge competitor. You are using what? You are using just a fishing rod, to catch a fish, and you are fighting with people who are using the net. You know what? So it means that when you are using the fishing rod where you can fish one fish at a time, you are going against people who are using the net, where in one throw they can, let's say, they can catch maybe hundreds and hundreds of fish. Then how are you going to win with them? How are you going to win the competition with them? You see or not? But again, the pond or the lake that you are trying to fish, there are many fish there. But but the chances of you getting the fish is quite slim because you are using a strong competition. You see or not? Or Porter says you can choose what we call a smaller pond or a smaller lake, for example, where where this big competitor, they are not so interested in, but still there are fish in that small lake, but still you can make profit. Which one you want to choose? Whether you want to fight with a strong company in a larger market, or you want to, you want to switch to a smaller market, but still that market still have consumer, which still you can get profit, but not so high, but not so what we call so promising as the mass market. So which one would you choose? So basically, class, these are the two most powerful question that Porter asked. How to compete? Yeah, how to compete? There are two ways to compete. All right. So there are two ways to compete according to this question. Number one, by using cost, and number two, by using a factor other than cost. Yeah, which one you need to choose. All right. Number two, all right, in terms of the selection of our market, should we go for mass market or should we go for a niche market? If we go for a mass market, yes, memang it is very attractive. Yeah, because why? There are many consumer in the mass market. All right, consumer which are huge buying power, for example. But again, you are facing with huge competitor. Yeah, so in that situation, should you go face to face with the bigger competitor, or should you move away to a smaller market, to a niche market that that has a lesser number of consumer, but again still you can get some profit. So which one? Ini adalah dua soalan yang ditanya oleh Porter. How to compete? Use price, use price, or use other factors other than price. Number two, which market you want to choose? Big market or niche market? This is the very basic and very important question by Porter. Why? Because from these two questions, yeah, Porter proposed the what we call the Porter generic strategy, yeah, the generic competitive strategy. All right. Okay, so because of these two factors, because of these two question, yeah, Porter proposed the competitive strategy. This class, please remember, we are talking about competitive strategy, yeah. We are talking about competitive strategy. So, class, in conclusion tu bukan nak habis. Maksudnya in conclusion tu maksud in conclusion dalam topik ni lah. Alright. Competitive strategy. In competitive strategy, alright, basically we have three main strategy. Yeah, three main strategy under competitive strategy. Alright, number one, a strategy that is called cost leadership. Number two, a strategy that is called differentiation. And number three, a strategy that we call focus. Yeah. So these three strategy is known as generic competitive strategy. Repeat, generic tu apa? Generic tu general lah, general umum, ya, strategi persaingan secara umum, ya, strategi persaingan umum, ataupun generic competitive strategy by consists of three main strategy, which is number one, cost leadership, number two, differentiation, and number three, focus. Okay, focus. Jadi, alright, these three strategies that Michael Porter proposes is coming from the two question that he asked earlier. Alright, tadi kan dia tanya compete based on what? Based on price. So if you want to compete based on price, you can follow this strategy which called cost leadership. Yeah, which called cost leadership. What is cost leadership? Cost leadership, it means that you are trying to compete purely on price. Yeah, you are trying to beat your competitors, or you are trying to bury your competitors, 6 feet under, yeah, by kicking him out of business, by using this strategy, the cost leadership strategy. It means that you have the ability, to design, produce, and market a comparable product more efficiently than your competitors. It means that you can sell exactly the same product. Yeah. When I say the same product in terms of design, in terms of the specification and everything, you can design them better, you can produce them better, you can market them better, and you can sell at lower price. Remember, cost leadership, yeah. Why dia panggil cost leadership? Kenapa ada perkataan leadership kat sini? Why there is the word leadership kat sini? Cost leadership, it means that you, when you can achieve this status, the cost leadership status, it means that you are the what we call cost leader in the industry. By becoming the cost leader, it means that you are selling the cheapest in the market. It means that you are the cheapest in the market. Your product is the cheapest in the market. So what does it mean? It means that if you are competing in the industry that has what we call a high price sensitivity, if you are competing in a market which have a high price sensitivity, or meaning that what is a price sensitivity, class? Price sensitivity is a concept. I think you learn somewhere in economy. Price sensitivity, it means that a particular product which is very sensitive toward changes in price. It means that a small changes in price will change the demanded, in huge amount. Yeah, a slight change in price a slight changes in price will cause quantity demanded to change a lot more. This is what we call price sensitivity. All right. So cost leadership, cost leadership is a strategy that is very suitable to use in an industry which has a very high sensitivity product. Sorry. I repeat my statement. All right. Cost leadership is a strategy which is a very suitable to use in the industry which has a high price sensitivity. Okay, class. Maybe you are asking, sir, what is a product that has high price sensitivity? Okay, normally a product that have high price sensitivity is what we call a product that can substitute each other easily. You get that? You know, can you still recall when we learned about Michael Porter punya five industry forces, five factor that cause competition in the industry? One of the factor is product substitute, substitute products. Remember or not? Substitute products. Okay, what is a substitute product? Products that can replace each other easily. I mean that customer, let's say, when he cannot buy product A, he can buy product B anytime, and he can get the same level of satisfaction from product B. So if to that customer, product A and product B is not much different. Basically they are the same. So when the consumer cannot differentiate between A and B, because why, in the mind of the consumer A and B are the same, then we can say that the product have high substitution effects. When the product have high substitution effect, it is very sensitive towards changes in price. So a small decrease in, let's say, price B, okay, will move all the customer A, all the what we call product A customer to product B. Why? Because product A sees that, oh no, we can buy cheaper. So that's all product A customers, they go to product B. Why? Because product B has reduced their price. Let's say product B increase their price a little bit higher than product A. All the customer of product B will move to product A. Why? Product A become cheaper. See or not? This is what we call high substitution effects. When a high substitution effect, so at the same time, it will cause the price, the product to have what we call high price sensitivity. So a cost leadership strategy is very suitable in the industry which have what? Which have many players, and in those players are producing similar products. Example senang. Kalau you tengok, for example, let's say in Malaysia, we have many hypermarkets, right? We have Giants, we have Tesco, apa lagi? We have Aeon Big. Kalau in this northern region lah, we have what else? We have you can name it lah. You can name it, all these hypermarkets. Mydin, one more. All right. So these hypermarkets, basically they are selling similar products, right? They are selling similar products. So, and these, let's say, hypermarkets, they are fighting who could become the cost leader in their industry. That's why Tesco says what? Our price is low every day, for example. We check our price every day. So our price is lower every day. Those claim they make, right? To say that they are selling at the lower cost. It's true. Kalau you tengok, for example, let's say in Perlis, of course lah, Giant is the best lah so far. Kalau you tengok in Alustar, Giant is dying. In Sungai Petani, Giant is also dying. Why? Tesco is better, for example. Alright. This is what we call a cost leadership. So basically, cost leadership, they compete on the basis of price. They compete on the most important variable in killing of the competitor, which is price. Because price is the single most important factor that determine customer purchases. Remember that. So that is number one. How what we call Porter's punya approach towards competitive strategies. Okay, number two, Porter says other than cost, company they can compete based on differentiation. Based on differentiation. What does differentiation means? Differentiation means, as the name suggests, differentiation means the ability of a firm to provide unique. This is the keyword, to provide unique and superior value to the buyer in terms of product quality, in terms of product quality, special features, and after sales service. All right. Product differentiation is another form to compete with other firm. Yeah, product differentiation is another form to compete or to beat your competitor. All right. You are not selling, you may not be selling at the cheapest price. Yeah, you are not selling at the cheapest price, but you are offering more value. Yeah, you are offering more uniqueness. You are providing what we call more better image than the competitor's product. So this is what we call differentiation. All right. The key to succeed in using differentiation strategy is to what extent can you introduce uniqueness to your product. When your product have uniqueness, customer will perceive your product as different from the rest. Customer will think that your product is superior, is better than other products. That is what we call the importance of introducing uniqueness into your product. So meaning that you are not fighting in terms of who sell the cheapest, but you can offset. Yeah, you can offset you know your deficiency in selling cheap price by providing more values. So meaning to say what? Your price is a little bit high than the market price, but you offer better value. You offer a unique value. You offer something that is money maybe something cannot buy. For example, you are not only selling the product, but you also selling the good image, for example. So this is what we call uniqueness. Yeah, this is what we call uniqueness. So sometimes people can compete on uniqueness. All right, class. So when it is good to choose this differentiation strategy? When, let's say, you are operating in the industry where price is not so sensitive. See or not? Yeah, this strategy is applicable when you are operating in the industry where price is not so sensitive. What does it mean? It means that uniqueness of customer value play product uniqueness play more important value. So normally, class, in which what we call industry that uniqueness or price is less sensitive. Normally in the industry that not have so many players. Kalau dalam price industry that price are very sensitive, normally industry which already what we call have many players, the industry is already what we call saturated, where many players inside the industry, so everybody are competing on the basis of price. But differentiation strategy is a totally different is a totally different agenda. It means that we are not talking about selling cheap, but we are talking about how to give more value and more uniqueness to the customer, so that customer will value this uniqueness and they are willing to pay more. Price is not the object. So in this context, in this context of what we call in the context of industry which does not have price sensitivity, if you are trying to sell cheap, people will not buy. Yeah, if you are trying to sell, let's say you are trying to lower down your product, people will not buy. Why? Because people associate price with quality. If you lower down your price, people might think that your product has lower quality. You see or not? This situation clearly defy the economic principle that you learn in your earlier semester kan, you belajar dalam principle of economy says what? The lower the price, the higher the demand, right? Apa lagi it's the higher the price lah, sorry. The lower the price, the higher the demand. The higher the price, the lower the demand. This is what we call the apa nama uh, the principles lah yang you learn, right? But that's true to some extent. But to some extent, it does not true. It does not hold like this, right? For example, in the luxuries product punya market, for example, if you are trying to sell cheap, people will not buy. Why? Because they associate price with quality, right? If you sell at higher price, then they say that, oh, this product have higher quality. Kalau you tengok, for example, if let's say for the luxury product, if you try to sell at lower price, that product will lose what we call its exclusivity. Yeah, they will lose in the eye of the customer. They will lose its exclusivity, and they will lose its value, and they will lose its uniqueness. All right. So this is what we call other strategy to compete, differentiation. And last but not least is the focus strategy. Focus strategy, is the ability to provide unique and superior value to a particular buyer group, segment of the market line or geographic market. Okay, what does it mean? Focus strategy is what we call, focus strategy. In other words, we call them a niche strategy. Yeah, it's a niche strategy. Yeah, a focus strategy. A focus strategy, it means that focus strategy company, they try to provide unique and superior value. It means what? They are trying to sell their product to whom? To a particular buyer group. Yeah, to a particular buyer group. A particular buyer group means what? Means a particular niche. Yeah, a particular market niche. All right. So, class, normally a focus strategy is normally a strategy is being adopted by a small company. Why? Because they cannot compete. They cannot take on the big company face to face. Yeah, they simply can't. Why? Because they are weak. It is like the heavyweight boxer versus a lightweight boxer. Yeah, it is not the same or equal playing field for a small company to enter the big market as the big company. So it is advisable to them to choose a smaller company, a smaller market niche where they can provide superior value, they can provide uniqueness to the customer in that group. So they are making money from that smaller group of consumer. Yeah, it's like the analogy of fishing that I give you. Yeah, if let's say you want to try to fight with the big company, if let's say you are trying to fish in the same pond or in the same lake as the what we call fishermen who use net, whereas you are using only a fishing rod, you are risking, even though there are many fish, but you may risk of not getting any fish at all. Why? Because the fishermen take all. Because why? They have better technology. They have bigger boats. You are only fishing one fish at a time. You see or not? So even though there are many fish there, but you are facing a very formidable opponent. So better you don't waste your time. You don't waste your resources. You know what are your level. You know who you are. So better you move on to another smaller market, which is a niche market, and in that niche market you try to sell your product to the consumer in this group. You may be asking, sir, why consumer in that niche market don't buy from big company? You may be asking that, right? Because sometimes the product, normally big company, they are selling standardized product. They are selling standardized product that may not be appeal to people or to a segment of consumer in this group. For example, For example, saya bagi contoh macam let's say Muslim consumer tadi dalam konteks ubat gigi tadi. Alright? Muslim consumer, alright, maybe we have a negative perception about the use of Florida in the what we call Colgate. And normally the chemical based toothpaste, they are using Florida. So maybe we as a Muslim consumer, we might have a negative conception about the use of Florida. We might think that Florida is something that is bad for our teeth and blah blah blah. We are looking for a toothpaste that has a sugi, that is what we call according to we believe that it is according to Sunnah and so on. So we want that kind of product. That's why we don't buy from Colgate. So meaning that this market segment exists. This market segment exists, and nobody are selling them what they want. So that's why you are in the picture. That's why you come into the picture. You try to serve this market, even though it's a smaller pond, but you are sure to get fish. You see or not? Rather than you are fishing at a big pond, but you are risk to get nothing. So better you use your resources, your energy, your time to fish in a place where it is assured to get some return. So this is what focus strategy is all about. So class, when I ask you what are the Porter's generic competitive strategy, so you must answer cost leadership, differentiation, and focus strategy. Okay? All right. Okay, this is what we call the explanation. Yeah. So please read them. Yeah, about Porter cost leadership strategy. So cost leadership strategy. Now, so you have to read more. Yeah. So I already did the explanation. All right. So you must read more about this Porter generic strategy, which is the cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. Yeah. Please read them. Okay, so that I can skip this one. Alright. Ini dia cerita yang tadi lah. Risk in competitive strategy, blah blah blah. Issue. Okay, sikit yang ni. A risk in competitive strategy. Yeah, risk in competitive strategy. What are the risks that you could face in a competitive strategy? Following a differentiation strategy. What is a differentiation strategy? You are selling based on uniqueness. Yeah, you are competing based on uniqueness. Right. A company following a differentiation strategy must ensure that the higher price it charges for its higher quality is not too far above the price of the competition. Yeah. Otherwise, customer will not see the extra quality as worth the extra cost. All right. Okay, so, all right, so let's say you may claim that, oh, no problem, I can sell higher than the market price because why? Because I am following a differentiation strategy. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, you are saying that I am selling, at higher price because my product is more superior to the other. My product has the highest value. My product is very unique, for example. But don't price it too high. Yeah, don't price it too high above the market price. If not, customer or consumer, they will not see the extra quality as worth the extra cost. Ya, maksudnya apa? Kalau tidak, orang akan nampak dia tidak berbaloi, tidak berbaloi untuk beli. Contoh. I give you one example. Let's say now, let's say apa produk nak bagi contoh? Let's say a handphone lah, for example, handphone. I think so far in the market price, I think Apple is the market leader lah, because their phone are very unique. Yeah, their phones are very, very unique. And then followed by Samsung and so on. All right. Suddenly now Apple is a market leader. Okay, now let's say new company come into the picture. You give lah any Apple. This one is maybe Tomato, for example, a company called Tomato. This company Tomato, they come with a higher, better 2-3 times than Apple. and their phone much higher than Apple. And maybe Apple, how much? The most expensive, what? 4,000, 5,000, for example. Okay, now this new brand tomato, they sell at 10,000, for example. So, so people might think what? People might think, wow, this is too far, this is too high. So sometimes when it is too high, sometimes customer might think that the price is ridiculous. The price is what we call mind blowing punya price. So it is not worth it. You know, it's not worth the extra cost. You know, because why? With that amount, 10,000 K, you can buy Apple phone for 2 units, or you can buy Samsung phone for 3 4 units, for example. You know, at the end of the day, they are still providing the same function: to call, to WhatsApp, to message, to browse the internet, blah 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 blah. You know, basically, consumer will see that as what we call defeat the purpose. So this is the risk. So be careful. Even though you are selling based on what we call value proposition, you are selling based on uniqueness, for that matter, but don't price too high. Yeah, too high above the market price, because consumer with you know, consumer with what we call with sense of logic, they may think that is not worth the extra cost. Yeah, or sometime, you know, company who are stuck in the middle. All right, this is another issue or another risk, yeah, dalam konteks of competitive strategy. When the company have no competitive advantage, when they have no competitive advantage, and when they have no competitive advantage, they are doomed to be below average performance. It means that they are stuck in the middle. They are not going forward, they are not going backward, they are just there. It means that they do not have what we call you know, a catalyst to move forward. Why? Because they have no competitive advantage. Why they have no competitive advantage? Because maybe their resources simply does not provide them with the you know, with the ability to be unique, or maybe they don't have simply they do not have uniqueness, or maybe sometime their resources is easily to be imitated. Yeah, it can be easily copied. Their product can be easily copied. You know, so that's why they are stuck in the middle, or meaning to say they are just repeating around the bushes. It means that the product that they sell does not provide any value proposition. It means that the product that they are selling is just a repetition of other products that consumer can find anywhere. So in that situation, you just stuck in the middle. So that is a problem in the competitive strategy. It means that when you are stuck in the middle, it means that you are not competitive lah. You are not competitive. Okay. All right. Successful entrepreneurial ventures follow focus strategies. Yeah. All right. When you are a small entrepreneur, okay, you should follow the focus strategy. All right. They differentiate their products or services from those of others by focusing on customer wants. Okay. One strength, one good, what we call advantage, if you focus on a niche strategy. You know, what is the advantage of doing a niche strategy? One of the advantage is that you can understand your customer needs better. Why? Because the market is small, so you know what they want. That is the thing. That is the thing. It means that your job is just to take care of this group. Whatever they want, you give them. So it means that you can survive because of them. You know? But at the same time, you have to watch out of your competitor. All right, you should have even though you are operating in a what you call in a small niche market, but sometimes when that niche market is profitable, you know, it may attract other competitors to come in. But please be assured that you know, you should conquer the market by giving them what they want, to understand their needs, yeah, to understand their wants. All right. So by doing that, you can be dominant, yeah, in the marketplace. All right. Okay. Industry structure. All right. The concept of industry structure, fragmented industry. Wait. Let me see first. Okay. This one, market structure, issues in competitive strategy, we are done. Okay, class, this one I want you to read, yeah, about issue about industry structure and competitive strategy, yeah. Please read this one, industry structure, class. When we talk about industry structure, we have two types of industry. Number one, we have fragmented industry. Number two, we have consolidated industry. Okay, what is a fragmented industry, class? Fragmented industry is what we call an industry where we have many many SMEs, many small firm. Yeah, when we have many smaller firm in the marketplace or in the industry, that they compete for a relatively small share of the total market. So meaning that this is what we call a fragmented. What is a fragmented? Fragmented means that yang kita kata yang berpecah-pecah. Yeah, it means that there are many small player in the industry scattered everywhere. That's why it called fragmented. Okay, so what product they produce? Normally they produce a typical products. Yeah, they produce a product are typically in early stage of product life cycle. Yeah, normally they produce what? They produce a similar product and their product are typically at the what we call the early stage of the life cycle, which is the introduction stage. And normally, you know, the fragmented industry, the smaller firm, they use the focus strategy, yeah, which is they focus on the niche market. And what about the consolidated industry? Consolidated industry is the industry, there are not so many players, not so many firms, but a few large companies dominate the industry. It means that the consolidated industry, you know, is being dominated by a few large companies. Example of a consolidated industry. Example of consolidated industry, I can say that nowadays maybe telecommunication industry. Yeah, so far we have the big four. I think Celcom, Maxis, DG, U-Mobile. These are the consolidated industry. There are not many smaller company. But I think ada juga ya yang smaller company macam apa X or X lah apa semua tu kan. Tapi basically ya, consolidated industry is the industry that is being dominated by a few large company, and they offer premium on firms' ability to achieve cost leadership. Yeah, they offer premium and then they have ability to achieve cost leadership. They can sell cheaper. They can sell lower. They can provide better value for money. Yeah, this is what we call consolidated industry. Okay, class. So industry structure, there are two types. Yeah, fragmented, which is dominated by small company. Yeah, small company. Right, small company. There are many small SMEs company in the industry, and then whereas the consolidated industry, there are a few firm, but those firms are large firms. Yeah, and they have the ability to apply cost leadership. And the third one is the what we call strategic roll up. What is a strategic roll up? Strategic roll up ni dia kata kat sini develop in the mid 90s as an efficient way to quickly consolidate a fragmented industry. You know, in the 90s, especially in the US lah, you know, in the industry there are many smaller SMEs, there are many smaller firms in the industry. So how to consolidate this fragmented industry? So this is what they practice, the strategic roll up. What does it mean? Roll up differ from mergers or acquisition in three ways. Dia kata kat sini, they involve a large number of firms. The acquired firms are typically owner operated, and the objective is to reinvent the entire industry. All right, roll up ni apa? Roll up, it means that a smaller company is being taken away or is being bought off by a bigger company. But what is the difference between roll ups and merger or acquisition? Okay, roll up, it happens in what we call in large pattern. Yeah, it happens in large pattern where let's say in that industry there are 5 big company and there are 20 smaller company. So all these big 5 company, you know, they bought off all the smaller company so that the market become consolidated. Instead of become fragmented, with many smaller players scattered away everywhere in the industry. These big five, for example, these big fish, they eaten all the smaller fish, so that the industry just remain the big fish. So you understand that. So this is what we call the roll ups. So it means that the process of taking over happen in large scale. So they involve large number of firms, and then normally the acquired firm, ya, ataupun firma yang dibeli itu selalunya adalah firma yang typically owner oriented. It means that the firm that is being bought off, they are normally a sole proprietor. Yeah, they are a sole proprietor. Sole proprietor is a small firm lah. And then the objective is to reinvent the entire industry. It means that the objective of the roll up is to reinvent, is to what we call to reset, yeah, to reset the entire industry from become a fragmented to become a consolidated. All right, okay. All right. Hyper competition. Hyper competition is a situation where the competition is become extremely competitive. This is what that's why the word hyper competition is all about. That's why the word hyper means hyper. It means that a situation where it happens above average, where it happens beyond the scope of normality. This is what we call hyper competition. Hyper competition happens because of what? Because of number one, because product have a very short life cycle. That is one reason why hyper competition happen. Yeah, when product have a short life cycle, what does it mean? It means that a firm, they have to keep on producing new products. Example like what we call computers product, technological product. They have a very short life cycles. Yeah. Let's say this month you buy a very powerful PC or laptop, for example. I think next month your laptop is already obsolete because they have a better specification, for example. So market become hyper competition because of number one, shorter product life cycle, and then short product design cycle, because of new technologies, because of frequent entry by unexpected outsiders. Yeah, it means that frequent entry by new entrants, and then repositioning by incumbents. What does it mean? It means that the existing player in the marketplace, they keep on repositioning their position in the marketplace. What does it mean by repositioning? They are fighting each other to take control or to gain dominance in the marketplace. They are fighting each other. So that's what it means by repositioning. And then tactical redefinition of market boundaries as diverse industry merge. These are all factors that lead to hyper competition. So what does it mean? It means that a company must constantly work to improve its competitive advantage. So if you exist in this such industry which have a hyper competition, so the key to survive is to improve your competitive advantage. Yeah, it means that to improve your competitive advantage, it means that you are always be ready. You are not resting on your laurels. It means that you have to keep on improving your company and yourself. This is what the concept of Kaizen that you learn in strategic in operation management come into the picture. Continuous improvement. Yeah, continuous improvement. Why? Because you want to improve your competitive advantage. All right. With a good competitive advantage, you can stay in the game. You can stay in the industry. Okay. If not, you are being kicked out from the industry, like Nokia, for example. Yeah. Okay. And then hyper competition and competitive advantage sustainability. Okay, how to sustain your competitive advantage in a hyper competition market? So the kat sini, sustain competitive advantage is increasingly a matter of not a single advantage maintained over time, but more a matter of sequencing advantage over time. It means what? sustained competitive advantage, yeah, is not what we call we try to maintain in the short period of time. It's just not, you are not become a, let's say, one season wonder, you know, but instead you want to be present in the marketplace for as long as it takes. It means that you are planning to be in the marketplace for as long as possible. Yeah, that's how you sustain the competitive advantage. It does not mean that you win the competition today and you can sign off. No, it does not mean like that. You know, if you are the market leader today, you shouldn't rest on your laurels. Yeah, instead what you should do is you should plan for the longer picture, for the longer term, for the broader perspective, so that how to remain there in the long term. So this is what we call a sustained competitive advantage. Okay, last part of this chapter is cooperative strategy. Okay, class. So we are done with the first strategy. In competitive strategy, again, there are two main strategy: competitive strategy and cooperative strategy. All right, competitive strategy, we are done. So in competitive strategy, so basically to recap, we have what? Cost leadership, we have differentiation, and we have focus strategy. So you must know that three, yeah? Okay, then we move on to the cooperative strategy. Okay, class. Cooperative strategy is another business strategy which has a different philosophy from competitive strategy. Competitive strategy, you are fighting, yeah, you are fighting with your competitor to determine who is the best, who is the champion, you know, because winners takes all. They believe, but, all right. For those who are more advocates toward cooperative strategy, they have a different philosophy. You know, they have a different philosophy. Why should we kill each other? Because why? In the process of killing each other, both of us may get injured. So that is the last thing that we want. So why not? Since we can coexist, we coexist together. So it means that you and I, we don't have to fight, but we coexist. It means that you control your territory, I control my territory, so we can coexist. We don't kill off, we don't try to kill off each other. So why not, instead of we are fighting each other, why don't we cooperate together? So together we can prosper. So this is the philosophy behind cooperative strategy. So this strategy is used to gain competitive advantage within an industry by working with other firms. So you are trying to gain competitive advantage by working with other firms. The first strategy tadi, which is the competitive strategy, you are trying to gain competitive advantage by beating off other competitors. But this one, no, you are trying to get competitive advantage by working with other firms. Yeah. So example of cooperative strategy like collusion, like strategic alliance. Yeah, collusion, kerjasama. Yeah, strategic alliance, pakatan strategik. Yeah, for example. So what is a collusion? Collusion, dia kata kat sini, the active cooperation of firm within an industry, active cooperation, yeah, of firm within an industry to reduce output and raise prices to avoid economic law of supply and demand. Okay, collusion, it means what? Two firms, they cooperate together, meaning to say, like, they have what we call understanding with each other. So they know that they are in the same industry, so they know that they are the one who control the market price. So they have an what we call a collusion, or they have what we call understanding. So let's say when they want to increase the price, so they, you know, they cooperate with each other. So they say that, okay, now let us reduce our supply. So when we reduce our supply, so we know that price will go up. So when price will go up, then we supply again. So they can do that. So collusion you know, in some industry is in some country it is what we call illegal. Because why? This is against the antitrust law, you know. In America, for example, because America is based on capitalist is basically based on capitalist system, yeah, where they encourage free competition. Because why? When free competition, yeah, is going to benefit consumer actually. Yeah, so it means that they encourage firm to compete with each other. But when firm cooperate with each other, then consumer will become in trouble. Why? When firm they cooperate with each other, you know, maybe behind the scene, the cooperation take place normally behind the scene. When together they have some understanding. Okay, let's both of us, you know, we don't kill off each other, we try to co-survive, coexist together. Okay, now we can set the market price together. So why not we reduce our demand when we read sorry so not why do so why not we reduce our supply? When we reduce our supply, the market will suffer, and the buyer will suffer, so they will the market price will increase because of lack of supply. So by that way we can, you know, we can get better profit now. So this is what we call collusion. All right, in some countries it is illegal. Yeah, corporate dia panggil kat sini yeah, collusion lah. Yeah, ataupun cartel. Yeah, they try to form cartel, collusion, when they form together, you know, they are not merging, but they're just working with each other. Yeah, itu collusion. And then number two is strategic alliance. This is different a little bit. A long-term cooperative arrangement between two or more independent firm or businesses units that engage in business activity for mutual economic gain. All right. So as you can see from this diagram, all right, joint venture. This is joint venture. Yeah. All right. So meaning that they form a cooperative arrangement, meaning that a strategic business partner lah. Yeah, a strategic business partner. What is the difference between collusion? Collusion normally they work behind the scene, you know, illegally, yeah, illegally to set the market price. But this one, no, this one is a strategic alliance. It means that both companies they pool their resources together so that they work together on a certain project or on a certain business, so that they can, you know, they can get the profit. So both company are beneficial. You know, this is what we call strategic alliance. Okay, so these are the reason to form strategic alliance, yeah, to obtain new capabilities, yeah, to access into a specific markets. Now, for example, let's say a Malaysian company, they want to go to foreign market, for example, which don't have a know-how, they do not understand the market, so they need a business partner. Yeah, they need a local business partner there, so that they can work together into navigating that new market for them. Okay, so other than that, alliance can reduce the financial risk, and again it can also reduce the political risk. All right, so meaning to say you can mitigate your risk, and you know, you can overcome your uncertainty in terms of navigating into a new market, and also you can enhance your capabilities. Yeah, you can enhance your capabilities. Why? Because when you join forces with other firm, so it means that you are joining, you are merging, you are join forces, you are, you know, you are sharing your expertise, so together it means that you have better know-how about the marketplace. So this is your reason, people's reason to form an alliance. Okay, class, types of alliance. Types of alliance, this one I need you to read lah. Yeah, types of alliance. All right, you have mutual service consortium, you have joint venture, you have licensing, and you have value chain partnership. All right. Okay, class. So I think this is the last part of this chapter. So you need to read this one, yeah, types of alliance. So maybe I ask this in question in exam, maybe. All right, maybe who knows? All right. Discuss 4 types of alliance. So you should know, yeah, what is a mutual service consortium, joint venture, a licensing agreement, and value chain partnership. All right. So I think that's all in this chapter. Wow.